All right, folks. All right. Sounds like we're live. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat, the 29th of September. Hope you're all awesome and well wherever you are. Jason Witten here. A few people are jumping on, and while that's happening, while everyone's jumping on, quick welcome back to the regulars. Good to see a few of you guys here this morning. I can see a few already in the chat there. Jimmy, Allison. Good morning, team. How are you? Two Allisons now. Allison and Allison. Good morning, Bob. Great to see you, mate. Coffee Chat is up and running. So welcome back for those who don't know me or haven't stumbled across the old Wealth Coffee Chats before. Jason Witten's my name. Each morning, round about 8:05, it's usually sort of between 8:05 and 8:10, we kick off and we have a Wealth Coffee Chat, cup of coffee, and a bit of a chat, team, about what's going on in the real estate marketplace. And there's always something happening, always something going on when it comes to this game we play, this game of wealth, this game of property investing. We've got a few sayings around here. Two that are pretty important to repeat endlessly, I believe, is that this property investing is a marathon, not a sprint. And the idea that we're building a property portfolio, and when we build that property portfolio, we've got to keep in our minds, we're going to buy well and never sell. But the challenge is there are risks. There are things that mess with our mojo. And already... we were having a nice run when it comes to our property good news, and there's murmurings, there's mumblings about these policies and these adjustments, what are coming on in the marketplace. So today I thought we'd just have a bit of a chat about the concept of equity lock. A few of you guys have heard me talk about this before, but it's not as easy as it once was, unfortunately. The APRA changes in 2017 and 18 have affected things pretty considerably. And we've all had to adjust our ability to borrow, our lending practices as property investors. So let's have a bit of a chat about that this morning as we kick off. And a quick hello to Teresa and Melinda and Niraj and James. Who else we got there? Laura and Alex. Good to see you guys jumping on this morning and making the most of maybe an early morning coffee and talking about what we're doing with our property portfolio. So let's get on with it. Let me quickly explain for those who haven't seen the equity lock principle before. Along the way, we as property investors, we own a piece of real estate, and if we are fortunate enough to get the timing right, we might buy the property at the right time. Now, a couple of things before we talk about this. There are two principles when it comes to property investing, and when we talk about time. So one is time in the market and one is timing the market. Tell me in the chat, team, right now, tell me in the chat, which one do you think is the most important to understand or know? Which one adds the most value? Which one adds the most wealth in your property portfolio? My property portfolio, there's one that the newbies and the uneducated and the get-rich-quickers try to tell you. Yep, you guys are on it. Teresa, James, nailing it. Team, the one that we all must remember that is going to create our wealth is time in the market. Time in the market, not timing the market, because let me tell you, you do not control the marketplace, okay? And right now is a prime example. If you guys have been keeping an eye on, information, the right information in the marketplace right now. We've got a bit of political grandstanding going on about cooling the property market, the lending, all this sort of stuff. There's a bunch of rhetoric going on right now that will start to bubble up and probably be like a political hot potato coming up to an election soon. And sadly, unfortunately, the politicians are our number one risk when it comes to us and our wealth creation. They're the number one risk in what we do, right? We can choose a good property. We can own it for quite a while. We as property investors can manage ourselves if we focus and get our heads in the game. The challenge is, can you manage the politicians? And even with, depending on who you vote for and whatever, this is not a political conversation. This is just a risk conversation. 9 times out of 10, I think they're all friggin' maniacs, no matter who they are. And they will put their getting re-elected before, I think, good policy. But that's not today. What do they say? You don't talk about religion, politics, sex, and money. So let's not muddy the waters too much today. But we're talking about money. I like to talk about money. Money's important. I think politics is important too. I think we should understand that a bit more, but that's not what today's conversation is about. What it is about is we have been experiencing, thankfully, many of us, some rising prices in the property market. Now, I know there's a few people who haven't had their property rise in value just yet, and that's fairly normal as well. I've said this thousands of times over the last 20 years, team, that, if you hear, somebody say, oh, the whole property market's gone up 20%, it's the biggest bullshit lie that comes out of anyone's mouth, right? That is totally incorrect. Some properties have skyrocketed in value. Some properties have stayed flat in value, and some properties have even reduced in value in the last 1 to 2 years, okay? And there's a billion reasons why. We won't dive into that today, but we all must understand, if we get some uplift in our real estate